Today I'm going to show you guys my routine of just like my concealer and my foundation. I have friends who ask me like what foundation do I use. I use just a drugstore foundation. As you can tell, I do have active acne and acne scars. I didn't always have acne. Before I used to use Bare Minerals. Unfortunately, I can't use that now because I don't get a full coverage from it. So if you want to see how I cover up my acne and just what True Match kind of looks on me, I think because I'm still not sure. I tend to get oily just around the T-zone. So first I start with this daily facial moisturizer from Cetaphil. It is a bit, I want to say greasy because it really is. So I just grab like barely any because it is like really like oily based. And I try to use this just like on my nose because I get dry around there. And then I try to do it here on my cheeks, on this part of my cheeks. And since I really try not to like put anything on my forehead, just whatever's left on my fingers, but I don't really put it all over my face. The only time I do put it all over my face is when I wear no makeup at all. And usually I don't wear any makeup at all throughout the whole week when I go to work. So I'll put it all over my face. And even though it does make me look kind of shiny, I don't care because it's helped me out a lot. And not only that, I come home from work, and where I work, there's a lot of industrial machinery. So there's a lot of dust everywhere. Once I cleanse my face, even just with like a baby wipe, I notice all the dirt that's on there. So this is kind of like a thick barrier between my skin and all the dust that's out there. So I don't really care if my face looks oily. But if you do mind, then don't use it. But it works really good. Then I use this, the Pore Fessional from Benefit. I really like this a lot. It is kind of pricey, but I will say that once I do finish the product, I will continue to buy it again because I absolutely love it. Like, I tried it on my hand, like on the pores of my hands, and I just really loved it. So this one, I apply it kind of right here because this is where my pores are the most noticeable. And this feels like silky. Like, the feeling of it is just like amazing. I know every time I try it on anybody, they love it. You don't need a lot, but I do use quite a bit of it. And then I try to do it on my chin. And then I'll do some on my forehead. And then on my nose. Because, you know, that's where we don't really want our pores to show. So I'm going to be using a L'Oreal True Match, and I'll be using, mine is in W4. And this one has the warm base, and if you see them here, it has like the yellow in the bottom. I love this one. And since like I told you before, I would use the Bare Minerals, I was like a natural beige or a light in that. So that's kind of how I went about picking my color, because I know it's really tough, and people have asked me like, what foundation do you use? And I'm like, well, you know, it's a liquid drugstore, and they're like, well, how do you match yourself and stuff like that? But I had no trouble, and I love it, and I recommend it to a lot of people, and a lot of people also like it, so it's really good. So I'll just try to see because I have two. I just grab some and I put it in the back of my hand. And I think this is the one that doesn't have it. Your fingers. Then I use this stippling brush from Real Techniques. Yeah, I think it's a stippling brush. And I just push it up against my skin like this. Once I do have it like just like this, I like to grab Fix Plus, and this is not an actual beauty blender. You guys all know what they look like. This is just a sponge. It looks similar to the beauty blender, and then I'll just spray some on there. And then I'll just press it up against my skin like this. because I just feel like it gives it a different finish. Sometimes I use the sponge just by itself, like to apply it. It just kind of depends whatever I'm doing at that time. Okay, so once I'm done with that, I'm going to use my Pro Longwear, and this one is in NC30. Same thing, I just pump it in the back of my hand. And then I'll just grab, I'll dab it to my under eyes. And this stuff is like amazing. This is like, I think like $15. I just love it. But I love it even more when I use this one, the sponge and the Fix Plus. Like, it just distributes the product a lot easier. And I just feel like when I used to use the brush or anything else, like it kind of would eat it up. And I've tried it both ways, and I've noticed that with the sponge, like, it just like starts to like smooth out. Like, I love it. Like, one time I forgot my Fix Plus, and I was so upset because it just didn't look the same. Then whatever I have in the back, whatever product I had in the back of my hand, I just grab it with the sponge. And then I'll just apply it to my forehead like this. Like I said, if people could apply it differently in different steps, this is just how I apply it. Okay. And then I already did my eyebrows. I did my eyebrows with the Brow Wiz, my concealer brush F70 from Sigma. And then I cleaned it up with the Covergirl and Olay Simplyageless concealer, which you don't make no more, which Covergirl needs to get on it and just make this, because I don't understand why they replaced it. It's awesome. Awesome, awesome. And then MAC's brow gel. So now that I'm done, you can see, like, that's not even like concealer on that. Like, yeah, I have acne scars. But I mean, there's not much I can do to that. Now, when I am going somewhere, like, I'll go ahead and grab a little bit of concealer and kind of warm it up and then apply it, and it's like kind of like covering up a pothole, you can say. So that's kind of what I do. But for right now, I'm just gonna grab a little bit more, and then I'm just gonna apply it here. Like, just tapping it in. And as you can see, it does cover the redness. Sometimes I do use concealer, like, underneath, before I even do the foundation. And I'll either use the NC30 or the other concealer that I showed you. It just depends. But what I wanted to show you is that this foundation actually covers the redness of, of the acne. So I just love it. So if you have great skin, like, this is going to be awesome for you. And I also have a lot of people asking me, like, what foundation do you use? Because I use an expensive foundation and I don't want to be using that every day. They don't want to waste it. So I think L'Oreal True Match is awesome, and I totally love it. So then I sometimes just run this brush right here, so you don't see, like, where the concealer and all that ends and meets. So. And sorry that I'm looking, like, down, but it's because I'm using the iPad to film. This is just concealer and foundation.